Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to our December 14th meeting. Roll call, we're all here. That's perfect. Adoption of board agenda.
I would like to make a motion to approve agenda with the exception of moving 8.1 to the front so we can do our reorg first.
Great, thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 That passes. Now time for public comment. I see no members of the public here, so we'll adjourn to closed session. All right, we are ready to get started. Welcome, everybody, to the December 14th meeting of the Roseville Joint Union School District, High School District. First item we have is the Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone would stand and join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Just prior to this meeting, the board met in closed session. I've got a couple of report outs for there. First, on item number 2.1, upon motion of Board Member Hirota, seconded by Board Member France, the board voted to approve a notice of rejection of claim to be sent to a claimant in a matter, and that vote was 5-0. In item 2.2, upon motion of Hall, second of France, the board made a motion to release an employee during their probationary period, and that vote was 5-0. In item number 2.3, upon motion of Board Member Franz, seconded by Board Member Hall, the board took action to release a second probationary employee, and that vote was 5-0. Hang on here. Item number 2.5. Make sure I get the right one here. There it is here. Upon motion of Board Member Franz, seconded by Board Member Hirota, the board approved a request for readmission following an expulsion, and that vote was 5-0. We have two items from closed session that we heard in closed session, but we must take action in open session. The first, there's two separate items, both under 2.4. First is on case number 3-23-24. Do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. That carries 5-0. The second one is case number 4-23/24. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That also passes 5-0. Please, speaking of pass, thank you. All right, our next item is announcement of meeting protocols. For members of the public, we have opportunities for you to participate in our meeting. There's a couple of different times that you can do that. We have one section that's open forum. If you want to speak on something that is not on the agenda, then you'll have an opportunity to do so during the open forum section. You'll also have opportunities to speak on any of the items that are on the agenda when we hear that item. If we have 10 or more people who'd like to speak on an item, then the time allotted will be 1.5 minutes. If we have 9 or less, we'll allot 3 minutes for comments. We want to remind everyone that we encourage public participation during the meeting, but we do request civility and the use of courteous language. The board does not condone the use of profanity, vulgar language, gestures, or any other inappropriate behavior, including personal attacks or threats directed towards any meeting participant and/or district employee. If you have a complaint about a specific employee or employees of the district, those complaints should be made to that employee's immediate supervisor or the school site principal as outlined in our board policies and administrative regulations. We do have comment cards. If you do want to comment on an item, if you fill one of those out, it'll make our life easier. And this meeting is being both audio, video recorded, and will be archived. I think that's everything for there. We're now going to move into our special recognition and presentations. And our first one, I'm going to ask my board colleagues to meet me in front here, and we are going to recognize our school board, our student school board representatives.
All right, good evening. Happy holidays. We're going to continue the good news and present some recognition for our athletics and arts programs for fall of 23-24. So this couldn't have been done without all the support of the schools. The schools actually create their own slides for me. I just present it, but this is done by athletic directors, administrators, band teachers, drama teachers. Everybody has access, and they all add to this presentation to give to you tonight. So I do want to extend my thank you to everybody who contributed to this presentation. All right, we'll get going. So we're going to go ahead and start off with Antelope High School. There we go. Okay, in sports achievement, Antelope flag football secured 3rd place in the league and participated in the D2 CIF playoffs. Additionally, 3 runners progressed to SJS cross-country section meet. Autumn Chamberlain established a new school 5K record with a time of 20:23, which blows my mind. If you really think about that. In girls tennis, the team boasted a collective GPA of 3.78, and senior Mia Engelva earned an all-league recognition. Notably, Unified Sports is gaining prominence in the campus culture, and they are introducing the first ever Unified Sports class scheduled for this spring. Moving on to, no, sorry, not yet. Antelope Arts. So the Titan Marching Band concluded a successful marching season while the Jazz Band hosted a packed jazz night. The Performing Arts Department collaborated on a community haunted house in the Performing Arts Center. Drama, dance, choir, and band all presented performances within the fall term. The department also organized a showcase day for Antelope Crossing middle school students, attracting over 350 8th graders to learn about the performing arts classes offered at Antelope. With a significant enrollment of over 1,300 students taking visual and performing arts classes just this year. The visual arts show is scheduled for tonight. Sorry you've missed out, but it's also tomorrow night, so you can make it. Moving on to Granite Bay High School. In athletics, all of the varsity programs successfully qualified for playoffs, and all varsity athletes maintained academic eligibility. The boys water polo team received the CIF Academic Champions Award with a non-weighted team GPA of 3.69. Girls volleyball secured the section championship, while girls golf achieved a NorCal championship and finished 4th in the entire state. A noteworthy accomplishment is that 21 student athletes signed a national letter of intent to play collegiate sports next year. Arts at Granite Bay High School. The Emerald Brigade Marching Band earned a commendable 3rd place in the state championship. 5 band students received recognition in the state honor band, while Granite Bay Choir boasted 8 students making it to the state honor choir. The speech and debate team secured 8th place in the state championship, and notable achievements in the arts include a successful fall dance show titled Lights, Camera, Dance, and a production of Othello. Additionally, the school hosted its first annual Granite Bay Fall Art Show. Oakmont High School. Girls tennis achieved an impressive feat by advancing to the SJS team postseason for the 4th consecutive year. Cross country varsity boys team and 2 individual girls advanced to section. The FVL recognized 12 all-league athletes and 12 scholar athletes. Senior baseball player Tony Lira signed his national letter of intent to join the University of Arizona in 2024. And the Oakmont Athletics welcomed 10 new Hall of Fame members in September. Additionally, head baseball coach and PE teacher Paul Martinez received Coach of the Year honors from Sac Joaquin Section, CIF, and the National Federation of High Schools. Arts at Oakmont. Oakmont hosted the band field show for the 2nd consecutive year, featuring participation from all RJUHSD schools. The marching band had a standout season, showcasing a unique performance crafted by a dedicated design team. The dance program, particularly the IB dance, is flourishing, with students achieving scores well above the global average in exams. The dance show, held from December 7th through 9th, brought together 120 dancers, fostering unity on campus. And in drama, the fall play Puffs and an improv comedy show concluded successfully, contributing to the overall enthusiasm of performing arts at Oakmont. Pathways. In September, Pathways organized a community outreach event featuring a friendly flag football scrimmage between Roseville Police Department and Roseville Pathway students, with 14 off-duty officers participating. Notably, 15 Pathway students engaged in football and 13 in volleyball, all successfully passing their academic classes. In the realm of esports, Pathways celebrated the inaugural season of competitive Super Smash Bros. Team and an Overwatch team. Additionally, 9 students attending Pathways participated in fall sports at their respective comprehensive sites. The Tigers of Roseville High School. In athletics, the girls cross-country team coach Elizabeth Bitsy Crum earned the NFHS Fall Coach of the Year for the section. Both girls cross-country varsity and JV teams qualified for the CIF SJS meet. Boys water polo achieved number 7 in the CIF SJF playoffs, a first since 2015. Noteworthy achievements in girls tennis include a second-place finish, winning the CVC doubles tournament and becoming CIF Sac Joaquin Division III team champions, the first time in 37 years. Girls volleyball secured a CVC regular season championship and were runners-up in CIF Sac Joaquin Division II playoffs, a first in school history. And football reached the quarterfinals in the CIF Sac Joaquin Division III playoffs. Unified Sports hosted a cornhole tournament and competed in soccer. The fall sports teams collectively achieved an average GPA of 3.45 at Roseville High School. The arts at Roseville. The Tiger Band and Guard achieved remarkable success at the Franklin Field Festival, securing an overall first place in the 1A division, as well as a first place in color guard, percussion, and field conductor categories. A similar triumph occurred at the Oakmont Field Festival, where they secured overall first in their division, along with first in color guard and percussion. The field conductor, Michelle Herrera, placed third in the division and 6th out of 20 schools. The ceramics and arts programs continue to thrive, and the Mural Club engaged in community service projects well beyond Roseville High School. The guitar and dance programs held winter performances with the guitar concert on December 7th and holiday performances from tonight through December 16th. The Roseville Theater Company concluded a successful fall production of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and is planning to pilot a summer camp in June. The Roseville Downtown Partnership serves as the Roseville Theater Company's title sponsor for the 23-24 school year, and they've provided a $5,000 sponsorship. On to West Park Athletics. In its second year, the Panther Athletic Council organized a leadership evening attended by 75 students and is actively collaborating with Wood Creek's Athletic Council on service projects. The football team made it to the CIF SJS D4 semifinals, while flag football, girls water polo, and girls volleyball all qualified for CIF SJF playoffs for the first time. Girls golf secured their 3rd consecutive league title, and girls tennis achieved 2 milestones by winning the first ever league title and the FVL doubles tournament as well. Unified Sports participated in the cornhole and the soccer that were hosted this fall and showcasing their diverse range of athletic engagement. The arts at West Park. The Panther Marching Band achieved remarkable success, winning first in the 3A division at both the Franklin Invitational Band Review and the Oakmont Field Festival. They set new all-time scores and received high marks for color guard and percussion. The West Park players experienced a very busy fall, including their first field trip to Oregon's Shakespeare Festival and a successful Find Your Light fundraising cabaret and raised $4,000 for senior scholarships. Their fall play, A Midnight Summer Dreams, sold out for 7 performances. The Momentum Dance Company showcased remarkable talent throughout the season, delivering memorable performances during the football season, including various halftime routines in different styles. West Park High School is launching a choir program in the upcoming spring, and the visual arts program has tripled in size, focusing on refining student skills in all elements of art. The VAPA department is set to open their collaborative VAPA Showcase and Art Show tonight. You guys are missing out on a lot tonight, sorry. And closing with Wood Creek. Wood Creek Athletic Department organized a successful fall and winter Inside Out summits, engaging over 500 athletes and coaches who crafted purpose statements reflecting on the collaborative why for each team. The WHS Wood Creek Council collaborated with West Park's PAC to establish a healthy and competitive rivalry, planning a community service project for joint participation. The girls' tennis secured their 5th consecutive CVC championship and won the D2 section championship with an undefeated league record. Flag football went undefeated in the regular season, finishing 2nd in the section. And football had a historic season, achieving a school record of 11-2, hosting a section semifinal game for the first time, and finishing as runner-up in the section championship played at Hughes Stadium. Wood Creek Arts, the Theater Arts Department presented the musical Grease from November 1st through 17th. The marching band showcased their talents at Disneyland on November 9th through 10th. And additionally, the Children's Traveling Theater brought performances to local elementary schools in November and December, engaging young audience with their theater productions. So with that, I'd like to thank all of you for your support for the athletics and the arts that happen every day on our campuses, and this was just a highlight of what happened this fall. We will do this again with winter sports, and then we'll do it again with spring activities with both arts and athletics. But I think it's always fun to present and showcase all the great things our students and our staff are doing throughout the district. And again, none of this is possible without dedicated staff members and students who jump in and get involved in both athletics and arts. So I'd like to thank everyone for all of their participation.
All right. I feel like it's been a really long time since we've met. So I'll be quick, but there's kind of a lot. I'll just go through quickly. But we had a great time at CSBA and got to hear from some of our own district staff who did a great presentation, and Placer County Office of Education, and then of course districts from all across the state who gave great workshops, and we learned all kinds of information. Then I've gotten 2 great site visits over at West Park High School a couple weeks ago. It feels like it's been 2 weeks now, right? I got to see the muffins in action. It was exciting. And we visited Spanish and a photographic design class. Theater was doing rehearsals and just all kinds of fun that the students were having and super engaged. And then at Granite Bay High School today as well, I didn't get to see the muffins quite in action the same, but I heard about them. So we had a great visit of some of the CTE programs and some of the new teachers on campus I got to meet. We went to sports marketing and construction tech. Is that what that one was called, right? They were making dog houses and chairs that I want. Really cool stuff, right? Oh man, I want 2 of those chairs. Got to see the weight room, so I got to drool over that a little bit, and an art class, and just passing period and seeing, the energy of the students and the excitement and the fun. Everybody's getting ready for finals. And then I got to go to my own son's art show over at Roseville High. So that was exciting, seeing the art. That was for Art 3. It's part of their final, is displaying pieces of their own art. And then the guitar show was right afterwards. So it's been a busy couple of weeks. Yes. All right. That's it.
Julie.
Thank you. Actually, something printed.
Wow.
Yeah. So what's taken me far too long to learn is I can't do everything. Can't do everything I want to do, and I still try to do everything, but it compromises the quality or the time that I have. So past 7 years as a trustee, I've had the opportunity to invest a lot of time, had a tremendous personal interest in being a school board member as my children were part of this incredible school district. And over the last 7+ years, I was able to learn so much and be a part of so many things and lead exciting advancements. I helped shape and change California Education Code with the passing of AB 2128, which protected kids from sexual harassment of adults in the district. Helped come alongside passing Measure D, watching improvements across all the campuses. Thank you, Joe, for stewarding that so well. Erecting the incredible theater at Antelope High School, which was much overdue. Building state-of-the-art high school at West Park. Working with 4 superintendents. And hiring who I think is and will be the most transformational legacy at RJUHSD with Superintendent Becker. Working with seasoned board members as well as new board members. Learning from RSEA and really realizing how important that relationship is. Watching programs mature and lapse. Transforming Adelante and Independence High School into a more productive learning environment with pathways. Approved 2 charter schools. And most notably, during the unprecedented challenges of a global shutdown, I took on a very popular or unpopular, depending on how you saw it, role in orchestrating the return of students to school in October of 2020. As the first public high school district in the state of California to implement the pioneering a hybrid model during a very difficult time, I pressed the initiative with our interim superintendent when many hesitated, because education is and always will be the most important thing for kids. Subsequently, with the 2 of you coming on board, we transitioned to full-time in-person learning, an achievement that reflects our commitment to providing safe and educational environment for our kids, even in the face of daunting circumstances. And finally, and most importantly, I've watched thousands of kids move through our incredible schools and graduate. And it's just been a privilege. We have a very caring school district. Sorry. And for those who disagree, I challenge them to take on a role as a trustee so they can see for themselves how hard this district really works, because you guys are great. So effective next month, I've decided to step down from my position. The date to be determined, but it'll be in January, and I'll work with Pete and John on that. So I'm going to step down from the school board because due to my family and my work priorities, my ongoing dedication to serve those who need it most, homeless children and mothers, has been a central aspect of my daily professional work. Simultaneously, my commitment extends to my family, embracing the responsibilities and joys of supporting my 2 children now living independently, and my husband, who's been an unwavering pillar of support throughout the challenges, many challenges, and triumphs of my tenure on the school board. So I've recognized that my role as an advocate for homeless children and a devoted mother now demand my undivided attention. And so I've made the decision to prioritize these crucial aspects of my life, requiring a shift in focus of my position on the school board. So while my commitment to education and community engagement remains unwavering, the demands of my responsibilities have increased significantly. As you all have probably seen, my participation changing. It's making it challenging to fulfill the duties and responsibilities associated with my role on the school board. And I believe this decision is necessary to ensure that both my work and civic responsibilities receive the level of dedication they deserve. I'm very, very grateful for the opportunities to contribute to the school board. I remain committed to supporting educational initiatives in our community and other capacities when I can. It's been a privilege to be on this board. It's hard to leave, but it's time. So thank you all. Thank you for moving the agenda the way I need to. Thanks, Pete. And I know you guys are going to do a great job, so. That's my report.
Well, that was a surprise.
Yeah. Well, I know how much you value transparency and open board communication, open board meetings, so that's why I'm sharing it openly, and I did not do it beforehand, so.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy for you, but sad for us. So would you like to follow that?
Well, I'm sad to hear this. So, Julie, I've always appreciated your wisdom and your experience and your friendship. And like Pete said, I'm excited for you because I know you've been making such a big difference with your new role and the work that you care about so much. And it's hard to do hard things. And I know this was hard, but I appreciate your transparency and your courage to step out and say, this is the right thing for you to do. I want to thank the students for your engagement and your commitment to come. So I know you're not all seniors, but I certainly wish George and Lindsay good luck, and maybe we'll see you next year. We'll see. I just wanted to share one thing. I had a great visit at Wood Creek last week, and I don't dare try to list all of the classes I visited, although I did think we went into advanced ceramics, turned out to be ceramics 1. Remarkable. But I wanted to share that even as a parent in here and as a board member, I've always occasionally heard this reflection that we wish we had in-person finance. And it turns out Wood Creek has a remarkable in-person finance course. And I was pleasantly surprised, and they fill 4 sections this year. So I know my daughter has not nearly learned in her little online course as much as those students. So pleasantly surprised. I would love to see it everywhere. So thank you for pioneering that. And I'll just end with that.
So I'm really sad to hear that Heidi's leaving. Thank you so much for all your contributions. Sorry, Julie.
You don't have
Yes, Julie. So my son has been in the school district. This is his 3rd year, and I feel like some of the decisions that you made on the board while you were here have definitely had a positive impact on his education. So I want to thank you for that. And wish you the best in everything. I know what you're doing is important, and I hope that you can find that balance after leaving. So thank you. I don't have an official board report tonight, but I did want to acknowledge the athletics and arts presentation that we had, and it was just wow. how much are we doing out there. And I know my son's in the Antelope Band, and they have been awesome this year. I mean, he's just so excited to go every time. And it just brings me so much joy to see a young person so engaged and enjoying something that he's doing so well. And they've been making a lot of noise in our neighborhoods. I don't know if any of you have heard, but it's really nice to see. So want to wish everybody a happy holiday, and thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to save my comments about you for next month when we celebrate you. I will just say that I don't know if I'd be a board member if you weren't, because watching what you guys did and the conversations that I had with you and the observations of the school board is really what got me to run when I saw the opportunity, and wanted to make sure that the board stayed on the direction and the course that you all had set it on. So thank you for that. Got a lot of other things. Student board members, I wish Georgie was still here. I've known George the longest because he goes to Oakmont with my kids, and I forgot I was going to bring a picture because George and my daughter cheer together, and he's the one who holds her up in the air all the time. So he's been traveling with my family for trips for a while and all the cheer stuff, and got to know him, and he's a great young man. He's going to do a lot of great things. Lindsay, I've been very happy to have you here. She always has the most sunny disposition. She's wonderful to have. All of the board members, I say this a lot, the quality of discussion that they bring to our board's incredible, so thank you. Jace, you made it 6 months without calling for the removal of the superintendent. All right, good job. We're all worried what might happen. We're all worried what might happen with Jace coming on, but you've done a great job. It's been great to get to know you, not only here, but seeing you on campus at West Park. We appreciate everything that all three of you have done. You can still come back. You can sit in the audience. I'll give you your minute and a half like everybody else to still give your opinion. But when you're on break and stuff, come visit us. But thank you very much. We do appreciate you. I had the great opportunity on the 5th of this month to participate in Shop with a Cop at Dick's Sporting Goods. Officer Chad got a hold of me and invited me to go with him and probably, there ought to be 25 or so officers from Roseville Police Department and 15 of our kids. And I got to tell you, Dick's went all out. They gave each kid not only a $200 gift card to spend, but gave them the employee discount on top of it so it would increase the value. And then when kids came up a little short at the register, they took care of that too. They provided lunch and refreshments, and they really made all of our students feel welcome. And the kids had a blast, so it was great to be there. I also went to CSBA, and I'll save my comments about CSBA for another time. As an organization, the event, though, had some good points, had some low points, but that's just my personal perspective. But I will say that our team that presented, with the exception of me, did a wonderful job on presenting our behavioral threat assessment policies. And it was more than just going and talking about the policy. It really was kind of an A to Z. How do you get from not having anything in this matter to getting it fully up and running? There was a lot of discussion about the cooperation that we have with our local law enforcement, not only Roseville Police Department, but Sacramento Sheriff's Department and Placer County Sheriff's Department. We had about 80 people, which, considering we were at the end of the day, the last session of the day, was pretty good. It was a pretty full room. Just proud of all the work that we've done, and the presentation I don't think could have been better. We had Sergeant Nakamura from the Roseville Police Department join us, and it was one of his last things. He's getting ready to retire here, so but he came and spent that time with us, and that went really well. So other than that, that's all I have for board reports. I know this went longer than we expected, but thank you all very much. And like I said, Julie, look forward to talking about you next month. All right, so off to our transformational superintendent.
Thank you. Yeah, and bittersweet, Julie. Kind of mad about it, and then at the same time, I feel very happy for you. So, but obviously, we'll have more opportunities to process it all, and then really be able to talk about all the great things and best wishes for you going forward. And Howard in the back, he gets you all at the house now. No more sharing time. So, so a couple things for communications. The first one is the territory transfer from Aspire Solaire out in West Park. The final determination regarding the petition, which you guys did a resolution on at our previous meeting, to transfer territory from the Center Joint Union School District to Roseville City and RJUHSD was denied by both Sacramento County Office of Education Board, which happened December 12th with a 4-2 vote with 1 absent. And then the Placer County Committee on December 4th voted no 6-1 with 3 absent. So that petition has been denied. The other thing was, just real quick from our last board meeting at November 9th, we obviously reviewed and approved some new policies. I just wanted to, for the record, know that BP 0470 has been changed because of some conflicts in Gamut. It is now BP 0260. And then BP and AR at that time was 5020.1, the student parent rights, or student rights, is now numbered 5020.2. So those have already been changed in Gamut, so most people look for the language, not the number, but so those numbers have been changed. Just wanted to make sure everybody knew. And then last but not least, first, I thank you, Mel, for the presentation, and I appreciate all the schools for their information. But behind the scenes of all of those events and everything happening are the people sitting over here. I just want to recognize our principals, because all that time, effort, and energy to make sure those things happen usually starts with them, ends with them, and everything that goes on between it. So I just wanted to thank them for all their hard work this fall, and wishing them all a very deserving, restful, and joyful holiday break. So that's it.
Any other?
All right, I'm going to follow the theme of celebrating joy. But first, Julie, I am so sorry I didn't get to work with you very long. I've felt such a deep connection with you and such a great affinity with you in all of our discussions, not just about the achievements of our students in our district, but just simply how to show up as women and women in leadership. So thank you for your wisdom and thank you for your service, and I look forward and hope that we will still be able to stay in touch. Congratulations to you. In honor of the joy that I would like to continue to share, it's my joy to share that the College Board, which as you all know supports our advanced placement course offerings and advanced placement assessments, has announced that they will, starting this year, annually recognize high schools in America whose advanced placement or AP programs are delivering results for students while broadening access. Schools can earn the distinction of being named an AP School Honor Roll recipient based on criteria that reflect a commitment to increasing college-going culture, providing opportunities for students to earn college credit, and maximizing college readiness. And for a school to be recognized on the AP School Honor Roll in a given year, here are the criteria. A school must meet each of the following 3 criteria for their students in the most recent graduating class. So tonight I'll be sharing the results with regards to the graduating class of 2023 for each of the schools who have been named recipients of America's AP Honor Roll, AP School Honor Roll. That first criteria, as I shared, is around college culture, where 40%, that's a pretty high bar, 40% of the graduating cohort must have taken at least one AP exam during high school. That second criteria is around opportunities for students to earn college credit. And that bar is that 25% or more of the graduating cohort must have scored a 3 or higher on at least one AP exam during high school. And that third criteria is around college optimization, where 2% or more of the graduating cohort must have taken 5 or more AP exams during high school, and at least one of those exams must have been taken in the 9th grade or 10th grade, so that students are spreading their AP experience across grades rather than feeling disproportionate pressure in any single year. So as you can hear, the rigor with regards to being recognized. Additionally, the College Board has named that they will also give the AP Access Award to any AP School Honor Roll recipient, which means that that school has demonstrated a clear and effective commitment to equitable access to advanced coursework, and schools who earn this additional award has demonstrated the percentage of AP exam takers in their school are representative of underrepresented, minority, and or low-income students, and that share must mirror the school's overall student demographics. Thus, it's my joy to share with you our five high schools who have made the College Board's AP Honor Roll this year, which is incredible given the rigorous standards I've just shared with you. So let me start first with congratulations to Lindsay Cutts and her AP coordinator and faculty, students, and parents and community at Antelope High School who have earned the bronze recognition on the honor roll. Let's give Lindsay and Antelope a come up. Just real quickly, Antelope had 41% of its 2023 graduating class of 2023 participate in at least one AP course before graduating. 28% of the graduating class earned college credit by earning a score of 3 or higher, and 10% of the graduating class took a total of 5 or more AP exams throughout their high school years, including at least one in the 9th and 10th grade. Congratulations, Lindsay. Thank you.
You don't have to do that each time.
Secondly, I want to ask Sue-Ann Bell to come up, recognizing and congratulating Wood Creek High School, who earned a bronze recognition on the honor roll with 44% of its graduating class of 2023 experiencing one AP course before graduating. 30% of its graduating class earned college credit by earning an AP exam score of 3 or higher, and 10% of its graduating class took a total of 5 or more AP exams across their high school years with, of course, at least one taken in 9th or 10th grade. Congratulations, Sue-Ann. Third, would like to ask Kathy Eisenhower and Chris Hodge, our AP coordinator and phenomenal mathematics instructor from West Park High School, to come on up. West Park High School was also named a bronze recipient on the honor roll with 49% of its graduating class experiencing one AP course before graduating, 30% of its graduating class earning college credits by earning an AP exam of 3 or higher, and 11% of the graduating class taking a total of 5 or more AP exams across their high school years. And additionally, this is really special, West Park also earned the AP Access Award as a percentage of your AP exam takers represented your equivalent underrepresented minority student body group at West Park. Congratulations.
She's at the VAPA Awards ceremony tonight.
Next up, I'd like to ask Dr. Isabel Gouveia to come up, representing Oakmont High School. Oakmont High School earned a silver recognition on the honor roll with 50% of its graduating class experiencing one AP course before graduating, 35% of its graduating class earning college credits by earning a score of 3 or higher, and 9% of its graduating class taking 5 or more AP exams across their high school years starting in 9th or 10th grade. Additionally, Oakmont also earned the AP Access Award as a percentage of AP exam takers at Oakmont are representative of our underrepresented minority and or low-income students. So congratulations, Isabel. And finally, I'd like to ask Greg Sloan to come up, representing Granite Bay High School. Granite Bay High School earned a gold recognition on the honor roll, with 76% of its graduating class experiencing at least one AP course before graduating. 64% of its graduating class earned college credits by earning a 3 or higher on the AP exams, and 35% of its graduating class took a total of 5 or more AP exams across their high school years, starting with either 9th or 10th grade. Congratulations, Greg. And that concludes my report.
Wonderful. Brad?
I won't take too long. I just want to take the opportunity to say, Julie, I appreciate your support and patience with me as I moved into HR. I was a little bit, it was unexpected tonight, but not surprising, because I know that your heart takes you to serving others, and I know you're exactly where you need to be to take care of those women and children who need you. You've done some great work here, and it's time for you to move on to that next chapter. I know you're going to do an outstanding job, but just wanted to say thank you for everything.
You as well have done a great job.
Well, I'm glad we have an opportunity to think and say a little bit more about Julie next month, but as it's a little surprising, and I just have really enjoyed working with you. I've enjoyed your leadership and mentorship over the years. When I think of you, I think of someone who really loves our students, you love our community. It's just someone that's what I think of when I think of you, is like, she really loves and cares for the community. I've learned a lot from you over the years, and just want you to know more to come later, but you really have left such a positive impact on this district. So thank you for all your dedication and leadership.
Thank you. Committee reports. I don't think we have any committee reports. We have nothing from the policy committee. Does finance?
Yeah, Finance met a few weeks ago, although we are going to talk about the audit report in Section 8, so maybe we can wait on that. The only thing that won't appear on their agenda was we also had an audit done of the Phase 1 of West Park, and came back glowing, and all internal controls were great. So
Great.
That's it.
Thank you. All right, student board reports. We'll let Lindsay go first.
Awesome. Okay, so a lot has happened, I feel like, from our last board meeting. We're still going strong at Granite Bay, even though the semester's winding down. Even this past Saturday, we held our winter ball, which was our formal dance for the semester, and we had about 1,200 students in attendance. So that was great. And we've also, even just in the past week, the past month, we've had our Random Acts of Kindness Week. We've done our Winter Wishes activity. We've done our Winter Spirit Week. We've had candygrams at lunch for free. And we've held other lunchtime activities, trying to get the students in the holiday spirit and give them motivation to get through finals. And even with this holiday season, we've also been trying to reach out to the community with donations like our Giving Tree and our sock drive, which we've received about 1,000 pairs of socks so far for that, and we're donating those to Loaves and Fishes in Sacramento. And then our choir is performing tonight and tomorrow in their winter concert, and that is so exciting. They are very talented. And yeah, other than that, students are just working really hard to prepare for finals, and I think everyone's ready for break. So anyway, thank you, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Lindsay. Case.
Okay, so right before Thanksgiving break, and excuse my voice, I burned my throat with ramen today. Right before Thanksgiving, we finished our canned food drive, which was a major success. Shout out to Mr. Dre and Mr. Lapp for taking about 90% of our wagons because of how many cans they had. So they had a lot of cans. This week we had our last Spirit Week of the semester with holiday-themed dress-up days. This week we're also wrapping up our toy drive, which has been very successful, with toys being donated to families in need. My final note on this year is it's finals next week, even though for a lot of us it's been final season really all month. But really how we see it, it's like football, 4 minute or fourth quarter, 2 minutes left. Like, gotta lock in for these next couple days. So, but it's a rough time to get through, but I assure you that all of us are ready to come home this holiday season. Thank you.
Thanks, Jace. All right, our next report, Natalie, RSEA.
Good evening. Thank you again always for this opportunity to talk. Ms. Rhoda, I was not expecting that, but I want to say the last few years have been brutal, and I really appreciate your time, your effort, and sticking with us for that. It's been a wonderful relationship, and I appreciate that. As you've heard, it's final season, and we are all feeling it, and we are all seeing it. It's finals for a lot of things, almost end of the school year, semester, finishing final grades, those final procrastinations, those final gradings, summarize of the semester, final end of the days for the year, and also final days to like taking daily showers. Okay, that's just me till January 4th. However, it has been a very exhausting semester, and it's so funny. It's like we get to October, and it's just like that whole waiting for like some days off. And next thing you know, we're already in December, and it's like, what happened? And we are already here. So I know, as for the teacher stance, we are looking forward to this break, and they're coming back and just to start all over again. So it's kind of like, okay, and it's wind down, and we're looking forward with the family time. As for my report is last week I had an opportunity to meet with the other union leaders in our district and other areas, not our district, sorry, our surrounding area, and other union members, and we had a really great dinner, and we had talked about things that were going on, and it was a really great time to hear things such as parent notifications and how boards are dealing with it, and also like maybe negotiations that went through impasse, and then coming back and having those conversations, and just learning from different districts of what they're hearing. And as I sit there, and I always go back to this, is like I hear some of the tragedies, and I always come back and I feel very thankful. And even with our negotiations, they often like, hey, so how'd you kind of get to that? And it's just really a great time. And I know I come back to this often, and sometimes I get things thrown at me for saying this, but I really do appreciate the time and effort that we have. And I'm actually looking forward to negotiations. It's a time we can actually collaborate. I know it's other areas that it's very contentious, but I don't feel that here. And it's really just something humbling. And I think even Ms. Rhoda even touched on it. It's what a great partnership we have. And even though the end year is coming in and I'm looking forward to negotiations, happy holidays, everyone. And please enjoy your families and rest up, because I'm looking forward to coming back and hitting off new semesters. And thank you again.
Thank you. All right, our next item is public comment. I do not have any cards, and I think I know everyone here. So Howard, do you have anything to say? You're our only member of the public.
My wife's shaking her head.
Okay.
I hear enough from him every day.
All right, well, thank you all for being here and not speaking. We are now, before we went to closed session, we made a little change to our agenda order. So we are skipping forward to item 8.1 now. We moved that to our first, wait, did we do that after consent? Yeah, before consent. So we are going to do that now. 8.1 is our annual organizational meeting. We do a couple things here. We elect a president, a vice president, and a clerk. We will be appointing the superintendent as secretary. I guess our biggest other item is we're going to talk about our schedule for next year. We have 3 options that we're going to go through, and then that will likely necessitate a change to bylaw 9310 that talks about our regular meetings. Normally, prior to last year, we would also deal with committee assignments at the same time, but last year we moved that now to the first meeting in the new year, so we will do that at our next meeting. So we are going to start with selecting our president, vice president, and clerk. Heidi?
Am I just opening up discussion?
You're opening, you can nominate, you can flee, you can do whatever you'd like.
All right, I won't flee. I would recommend that we keep you as president. I would like to be vice president, and if Marla's up for being clerk, that would be my immediate, off the top of my head suggestion, seeing as how now with your announcement, that makes you and I the veterans.
That's scary.
No.
Okay, so are those opening up for discussion, or do you nominate? What would you like to do? It's up to you.
I don't have any other discussion. If anyone else has other discussion.
Anyone have anything else that they'd like to add, or would we like to move that into nominations?
Are you open to that, Pete?
Yes, I am.
I think I've appreciated how you've run the meetings this year.
Not all the time. Well,
I'm
maybe.
being nice. No, I've appreciated how you've run the meetings, and when I haven't appreciated it, I think I've always let you know. So, I think it's the right thing for just moving the district, working well again for the next coming year. So, do I second that?
We think we need a motion on the floor.
Yes.
Oh, you didn't motion, you just suggested?
She just suggested, she wanted to make sure you were okay with it, I think.
Okay,
Do you
well,
have anything you'd like to say before we make a motion?
I support
Okay.
Heidi and Marla.
All right,
then I'll make a motion that Pete remains president, that Heidi VP, and can I nominate myself as
Yes,
clerk?
you can.
Okay, all right.
all right. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, thank you. Do we have any discussion on that? Any members of the public want to object? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. None opposed, that carries 5-0. Oh. Okay, thank you. Our next item is to appoint the superintendent as secretary of the board and the authorized agent for the district, so I'll need a motion for that.
I move to appoint the superintendent as clerk and all the other things you said,
Secretary and authorized agent for the district, yep.
or the second.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Student board members first. All right. Board members, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. He's driving home with you. I'll take care of you. I might take him out for ice cream after that, so. Okay, so our next one is our calendars. We have 3 options for our calendars. I'm just going to open them all up real quick so that I can explain them, and then we can discuss what we would like to do. So we have 3 options. Option 1 is in Exhibit A in your packet, and that makes our meetings the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of the month. And in your agenda item, you will have, or Exhibit A, you have all the dates listed there. Exhibit B is the 1st and 3rd Tuesday of the month, which you have all those meetings there. And then Exhibit C is keeping them, I think, as we have it now, right, which is the 2nd and 4th Thursdays of the month. I will say that in anticipation of potentially going to Tuesdays, I've cleared my Tuesdays, so I'm fine with 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th Tuesdays of the month. I don't have any problem with that. Do we have anybody have any preference on which they would like to do or not do?
I think I'm okay with either one. As I just think through, agendas would come out, what, Fridays? So giving us the weekend to look at the agenda is probably nice. I would appreciate that. But I'm willing to keep, I can do either one, but I think in my perspective, having the weekend to look at an agenda versus cramming in midweek might be a little bit easier for me, but.
I will say historically, I think we always met on Tuesdays, and then it was changed about 3 years ago. Any comments on that?
I'm okay with any Tuesday, would be fine.
Okay. Heidi?
The 2nd and 4th do work better on my end. So the one where we would be the Tuesday, January 9th and the 23rd, that schedule, which I think is option 1.
Okay. I'm okay with any. I think you both said you're okay with any.
Yeah, so my only thought with, as I was looking at the actual dates, there wasn't an ideal option to avoid any of our vacations. So option one conflicts with spring break. And then option two, we were having one like, what, January 2nd?
Right.
And then ski week. So I'm assuming that we would just not meet during, okay.
Yeah, we generally try to adjust our workloads so that we can take that off. But if there's something that comes up that we can't avoid, then we'd have the meeting. But typically, we've been able to cancel it during those breaks.
And then the only thing I noticed, and it was more of just observations, I was looking at calendars, is LCAP was then pushed into June 11th, which is kind of in the summer. I don't know, maybe that doesn't matter, but if that's a problem or not. I was looking at my own.
That's a Joe question.
Usually it's not a problem, sorry, in June 11th, because the main meeting is the one in May. That's
Okay.
when we, if we're going to get some public input, that's usually where we would get public input. The second meeting is usually, okay, we've implemented any changes and here's the final one, so.
Okay.
Either should work.
So, from what I'm hearing, the second and fourth is the best option. Any opposition to that? If not, I'll take a motion to approve Exhibit A as our board meeting dates.
I will make a motion to adopt option 1, Exhibit A, the second and fourth Tuesday.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. All right. Any more discussion? You guys don't have to come, but do you have any input? All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That carries unanimously. So now, a technical amendment of the bylaws. We would direct the superintendent to amend bylaw 9320 to reflect the dates and the meeting, for the board meetings that we just approved. So do we have a motion for that? Either that, we don't tell him to do it, we got to do it ourselves. All right, I will let Julie make the motion, Heidi take the second. Any discussion? Student board members? No? Yes, yes, okay. All in favor signify by saying aye. 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 None opposed, that's unanimous. In your packet is Exhibit E, which is information only tonight. That's your committee assignments. Take the opportunity to look through that. Let me know what your preferences are directly, and then I will work with the superintendent to have a proposed list of committee assignments for approval at our first meeting in January. All right. Anything else on the organizational items? We are now going to go back up to our consent agenda. Is there anything anyone would like to pull from the consent agenda? Seeing none.
Hang on a second.
Oh, wait.
I had to log out for a second.
Oh, okay.
I don't think there is, but there might be. Sorry.
It's all right.
I know, but it wasn't all of them. Actually, no.
All right. Nothing to be pulled. Do I have a motion on the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
I'll give that to Julie. All right, we're going to start with Jace. Motion to approve. Yes?
Yes.
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 Yes? Yes.
All right, that is approved unanimously. We're now going to roll forward to item 8.2, which is our fiscal audit report for fiscal year 2022-23. Joe.
Yes, I'm not going to go over into too much detail because this was reviewed in the Finance and Facilities Committee, as Marla stated earlier. I will note that we did have one finding in regard to independent study, And that is an item that we talked a little bit more in the audit and have addressed going forward, and so don't anticipate having that issue in the future. But it did not have a fiscal impact to the current year. We kind of got a little lucky on how that finding came to be, and it happened to be in a year where we had a declining ADA for the year, and so it didn't have an impact to us. But we discussed that a little bit, and besides that, we didn't have any other findings or issues with our audit. With that, I don't know if Marla wants to add anything, but.
No, I think it's pretty clear. It sounded scary that potentially it was a almost $300,000 loss, but luckily the way ADA will be calculated going forward. You explained it really well in the finance meeting, but, and then whatever issue caused that is being taken care of, so.
All right, the only comment I had is, and you know I bring this up every year, but if you remember a year ago, we were softly celebrating the reduction in net pension liability, but we had a disclaimer of that we knew it was going to go back up. And this just underscores the importance of our Section 115 trust and our commitment to funding it. Our net pension liability went from $67 million to $110 million. Not quite double, but pretty significant. And that's more than what it was before it reduced. And so for those who don't understand in the audience maybe what this is, it's how much money our employees have earned and accrued in pension benefits, how much we are short if we continue to make all of the required contributions going forward. So it's not just if everybody retires today, but it's what we owe on top of whatever we're going to be paying. And so this is something that fluctuates a lot, and we have absolutely zero control over the number, where it goes, where it doesn't go. But what we do have control over is saving money so that we have a cushion when these impacts hit our budget. Because when you have swings like this, our budget on a cash flow basis each year can just go completely out of whack. So we did make a commitment to create the fund, and we have been funding it, and we have a funding policy to continue funding it. But just keep in mind, we celebrate when we put $1 million in. We need $110 million in. So it's just, we have a big goal. So I just like to bring this up every year so that we remind ourselves why we're doing it. It's an important issue. And, you know, all of our employees from the superintendent on down, they all work really hard. We made them promises to get these pension benefits. We need to make sure that we find a way to fund them all so that when they retire, they have the benefits and they can count on that in their retirement. So that's the only comment I have related to that. Anyone else have any comments on the audit? All right.
Thank you for the work you do, Joe.
Yep.
And your team.
Do we have a motion to approve this audit report as written?
I will move to approve the audit report as written.
All right, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Board members, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Yes.
Aye. None opposed, that passes unanimously. We'll roll into our next item, which is also, Joe, our first interim report for fiscal year 23-24.
Okay, let's see here. I think I've got, they're pulling it up right now. Thank you. So this is the first time of the year that we update. We just finished closing out 22-23 with our audit, and now we're also working on the current year, 23-24. So this is our first budget update that we provide each year, and it's as of October 31st. And so I will jump right in. One of the first items we always look for in this October update is how did we do with our enrollment expectations? As you all know, enrollment really dictates a lot of what we do in our district. It dictates our staffing, how much money we get, how many books we need to buy, all of our expenditures. And so that's why we hire a demographer every year to kind of look at our enrollment, to see how it's trending, and to get an idea of where we're headed. So happy to report our enrollment actually, we were pretty close with our estimations from when we adopted the budget, and actually was slightly higher, which is always a little good. But if you go down to that bottom, total state aid enrollment, we budgeted 10,767 students, and we came in with 10,793 students. So that was a difference of 26 additional students, or 0.24%. And you can see some sites were a little higher, some sites a little lower. One item I like to point out is while that's an increase in our enrollments compared to our budget, it's actually would have been, without our inter-district transfers, it actually would have been a decrease. And so when you see that bottom line there, this doesn't work, but that's okay. We projected about 1,075 inter-district transfers, and we actually got 1,133. And so we typically get more transfers in outside than we lose. And so that had a bit of a positive impact that allowed us to actually have some growth this year. Moving forward, I won't go over all of these lines, and I'll try to go pretty quickly, but happy to answer any questions. One of our biggest changes we have to our budget was in the LCAP, and it's actually a pretty positive change. We moved this year to income verification that comes with registration. For those who have students in our district, you may have noticed that was new this year, where when you're registering your student, you actually had to certify what your income level was. So many districts had moved towards that. The reason being, our unduplicated counts were going down because there was no longer the incentive to get people to sign up for free and reduced lunch. In the past, families wanted to sign up so their kids got free lunch. Now lunch is free for all students, and so those numbers were going down. And so many districts, and us as well, moved to this online verification that's part of registration. We don't have to shove papers at people and try to get them to sign it. And so there was a pretty big increase in our unduplicated count, which is great because it actually is identifying the number of students we have who qualify and meet the LCAP. We typically had been around the 25 to 30%, and we'd been last couple years more along the low 20s. And now this year we're at about 41.5%. So it's the highest we've ever been. And so what that means is we're going to get a lot more LCAP funding for our district. And so what you'll see is a pretty big increase in our LCFF revenue, but those dollars have restrictions. They need to go through the LCAP process. This isn't unrestricted dollars that can be spent wherever we want. And so what you'll see is a big increase, that 1.75 million. There's also the adjustments for our enrollment, but you see a reduction because we now have expenditures that have restrictions. And so that gives us opportunities. We're going through the LCAP process. It's actually really great timing because we have our new 3-year LCAP that's coming up. And so we're getting input, and it presents a really great opportunity of how we can help reach those unduplicated students and provide more services. So I know Tu and her team was very excited about that as well. So besides that, one of the other ones I'll just point out, you see the pension trust, which Pete alluded to, the 1.2 million. So we have our standing policy with savings from the prior year. We have a percentage that goes into our trust. And so we were able to contribute 1.2 million based on our savings from last year. And so since we started our trust, we've gone up to $3.2 million in contribution. So it's a good dollar amount, but it's, as Pete alluded, it's still just a small percentage, but I've been very excited about that, and we're getting to invest that money, and hopefully that'll be able to grow over time. Let's see. So I won't go into these numbers. There are a lot of details in here, but essentially the change in our adopted budget to a revised budget. One thing I'll just point out is our projected ending fund balance was $13 million when we adopted our budget. Now we're projecting an ending fund balance of $16.3 million. A lot of that was savings from last year, some additional LCAP funding, but there are a lot of factors that go into that. Okay, really small numbers, unless you have it on your screen, but this is our multi-year projection. And so this has been quite a bit change from where I presented at unaudited actuals. And it's not from the current year or last year, it's really our projections in 24-25 and 25-26. As I've mentioned to board members in weekly updates, the state their finances have not been doing very good the last couple months. They're projecting, you probably read in the newspapers or in SACB, that about a $68 billion deficit. And so when we last adopted our budget, we had a projection of about 3.5–4% COLA in 24-25, and a healthy COLA in 25-26. Now we're starting to reduce those back to, we put in, and the latest projection is 24-25 may see a 1% COLA. With these reductions, we may not even receive a 1% COLA because of some of the impacts to the state. We'll know a little bit more when the governor's budget comes out in January, but for our multi-year projection, when you look at the unaudited actuals, if you go to 25-26, we had a surplus of $8.1 million. Well, now with my new projections, 25-26, we have a surplus of $630,000. So we're really getting much more conservative based on the state projections. Luckily, we still have adequate reserves, and we're not too worried at this time, but we're beginning to have discussions in cabinet about we may need to be tightening our belt a little bit. Things are looking like they're probably going to be tighter. We've been fortunate to have a lot of money over the last couple years. We've gotten a lot of one-time grants that we've been able to invest and address some learning loss issues. But I think we're starting to see that going forward, things are probably not going to be as rosy. So we've gone through this many times before where we've had recessions and dips, and so we have a lot of tools and a lot of things to prepare. And so just wanted to let that be out there so that may be part of our discussions, especially as we go into preparing for our budget next year. We may have to make some more difficult decisions in the future about potentially cuts or just some increases we were hoping to do, we may not be able to do. So I also have in here our other funds. We have a lot of, we have our adult ed program, our cafeteria fund, our facility funds. As you can see, they're all projected to have positive ending fund balances. And so we'll continue to update these each year at each interim. And then this last slide is our facility funds, which are used to build our buildings across the district. With that, our next steps are, I mentioned earlier, governor's budget comes out in January. It's really the first glimpse at what the governor is thinking. And that's not the end all be all, because there'll be a May revise. The legislators actually end up having to pass the budget and the governor has to sign it. But it really gives us a glimpse into the governor's priorities and what it looks like for education. So with that, we'll also be going pretty heavy into budget development. So that'll be kind of our first little glimpse of what things are looking like, and we'll be working with our school principals, our departments to start developing our budget for next year. So that really gets busy in February and March. I'll also be coming back to the board on March 14th. Actually, that date may be different now because of the Tuesday, but it's sometime in early March, which will be similar to this update, but it'll be our second interim budget update. I think that's my last slide. So with that, that's the first interim. Happy to answer any questions if the board has them.
All right. Any questions?
I just have a general curiosity question. Where do most of our transfers come from? Like how far away, or is Sac County, or all over?
Pretty close. Sac County is probably the
Okay.
biggest one. We receive a lot from Center. I mean, Mel can probably, she lives it and breathes it, but we see a lot from Center, San Juan. Rockland, we see that kind of is a wash. You know, we have a number of students who leave, go to Rockland, and the same kind of roughly the same amount of students go from Rockland to one of our schools. But the predominant gain, Mel, if you would correct me, is Center and San Juan.
Yep.
Any other questions on the budget? All right, well, just be prepared. This next year is going to be interesting when it comes to numbers. We have to take a motion to approve this first interim report. Do we have a motion?
I would move to approve.
So we have a motion from Heidi. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Marla. Any discussion? All right, on the motion, student board members. And for the board, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. That passes unanimously. Thanks, Joe. Our next item is 8.4, core textbook, second reading, AP, Comp Gov, and Politics. Do we have any presentation on this? Or
We don't, but first I just want to thank all of Ed Services staff, particularly Jen Layton and Lisa Stanley, for having taken us through the comprehensive process as according to both our board policy and education code. And as you just said, Pete, it's our second reading, so we'll take any questions you might have. And then Jen's also here.
Any questions? Pretty book. Do we have a motion on the issue?
I will move to approve.
We have a motion from Heidi and a second from?
I second.
Second from Marla? Yes. Can you rotate it 360 degrees? Open to page, can you read page 42?
Actually, I do want to point out one thing. I want to thank Ludmilla. So often, people don't really, we take it through all the layers and not very many people look at it. And I got this text and Ludmilla with a picture of this page, and it says Russia invaded Ukraine in 2020. And she sent it to me and goes, do you know anything about this? And I said, well, I'm pretty sure it didn't happen in 2020. So we reached out to the publisher. What are you talking about? So I sent the actual screenshot. And 24 hours later, I got a very nice apology from the author of the book and a reassurance that all will be fixed, because this is actually, from the College Board. So it will be fixed. So we can thank Ludmilla for her conscientiousness. So she fixed it. So maybe you should just have this book. Take this home. This is your door with the little Post-it note on there.
Now, all those students will not get that wrong on the AP exam.
I just hope they didn't publish too many of them.
I know. I mean, unfortunately, it happens on occasion with textbooks, but that was a good one. That was like, that's not that hard to figure out that that's not correct.
I think you should get some royalties now from all book sales going forward.
Absolutely.
All right, well, we have a motion and a second, so we'll start our voting. Student board members? Yep. Yes. Board members, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. That passes unanimously. Thank you. All right, we are now going to adjourn to our Financing Corporation Board annual meeting. And I'm going to call it to order and then turn it over to Joe, right?
Yep. And you get the list of the things we have to do. This is a process we have to do once a year. The Financing Corporation was formed in 1991 to allow us to have certificates of participation, essentially financing to help with some of our school construction projects. You can see the update of our COP that we have begun to make payments into. We make those payments out of the developer fees. And one of the benefits when we did the COP, we were able to lock in just a really, really great interest rate. As you know, all have heard, interest rates have been going up over the last couple years. And so that was really beneficial as we were able to do some fast forward some of the projects at West Park, like the swimming pool and some of the other things that we didn't quite have enough cash for. And so we were able to get those projects completed, and then now we'll continue to make payments over the next number of years. With that, that's kind of the update on the COP. That's the main reason we have this corporation. And you can go down the list of, we've got meeting minutes and next year's meeting date and stuff like that to approve.
All right, so we're going to start off with item number 3 under the Financing Corporation. That's an appointment of officers, which essentially makes us the officers of the corporation. As members of the board, we just need a motion. We need a motion on each one of these, right, Joe?
Yes.
Yep. So do we have a motion to appoint the officers of the corporation to be the board of directors? The board of trustees, I mean. Need a motion?
I move to approve.
A motion from Julie, a second by
Second.
Heidi. I don't think student board members probably don't get a vote in this stuff, right?
I don't think so.
Because I don't think they're part of this. Okay. So from the regular board, I guess the corporation board, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. That passes. Our next item is approval of the minutes from our previous meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes. Second.
We have a motion and a second from Heidi and Julie. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We now have an opportunity for public comment. Anyone like to speak on this? None. Establish next meeting date. I just looked at the exhibit that we passed, which is, I opened the wrong one. Hang on here. Let me make sure we get the date correct. We picked exhibit A. We'll check our December meeting. Our
I believe it's December 17th.
17th, yes. So it does say in here the 12th, so we will change that now to the 17th. So we need a motion to set the next financing corporation meeting for December 17th, 2024.
Move to approve.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
So we had the first by Julie, a second. Was that you, Heidi?
Yes.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Our next item is to adjourn the Financing Corporation meeting. And our last item on our regular agenda is staff comments. Do we have any?
Do we have to do it on to adjourn? No?
No.
Okay.
Any staff comments that we didn't capture already in the earlier comments? Seeing none. Pending agenda items. We only have one pending agenda item, and that'll be our committees when we come back next time. So with that, last thing we have is a motion to adjourn our meeting. Do I hear a motion?
I move to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed. We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.